What if I told you that one of the most critical units in World War II never fired a single shot in anger? What if I told you their primary weapons were rubber, canvas, and sound waves? It sounds like something straight out of a Hollywood movie. But this is the incredible, once classified true story of the Ghost Army. In the final, brutal stages of World War II, as the Allies pushed towards victory in Europe, a top-secret unit was formed. Officially known as the 23rd Headquarters Special Troops, they were a hand-picked group of just 100 men. So who were these phantom soldiers? They weren't your typical infantrymen. The Ghost Army was a bizarre and brilliant collection of artists, architects, sound engineers, actors, and advertising professionals. Their commander, Colonel Harry L. Reeder, famously said he was commanding a traveling roadshow of deception. And what a show it was. Their arsenal was unlike anything the world had ever seen. Instead of Sherman tanks made of steel, they had inflatable M4s made of rubber. They were so light that 4 men could lift one and reposition it, creating the illusion of a massive armored division on the move. From the air to a German reconnaissance pilot, they looked absolutely real. They even made sure to create fake tank tracks with special rollers to complete the illusion on the ground. They had inflatable artillery pieces, rubber airplanes, and canvas trucks. It was a phantom force, designed to be seen and believed. But sight was only one part of the equation. To truly sell the lie, they had to master the art of sound. This is where the 3102nd Signal Service Company came in. These were the sound wizards of the Ghost Army. They traveled to Fort Knox to record the sounds of real armored and infantry units. They captured everything: the clatter of tank treads, the rumble of truck engines, the sounds of soldiers digging trenches, even the casual chatter and arguments of GIs. Then, armed with massive speakers mounted on half-tracks, they would roll up near the front lines, often just a mile from German positions, and blast these recordings into the night. Imagine being a German soldier, huddled in a foxhole, and hearing the unmistakable sound of an entire armored division moving into position just over the next hill. The psychological effect was immense. It created panic, forced the Germans to reposition their troops, and made them waste precious artillery on empty fields filled with nothing but hot air and sound waves. The deception didn't stop there. The Ghost Army also had its own radio specialists who engaged in what they called spoof radio. They would mimic the distinct radio communication style of a specific real division. Every unit had its own unique radio signature. The way operators talked, their slang, even their mistakes. The Ghost Army operators would study these patterns and then broadcast fake traffic, fooling German radio intercept operators into believing that a division, say the 6th Armored, was massing in one location, when in reality it was secretly moving dozens of miles away for a real attack. And to add a final layer of theatrical flair, a small group of soldiers would put on a performance. They'd drive into French towns near the front lines, wearing the shoulder patches of the division they were impersonating. They'd visit local cafes and bars, talking loudly about their upcoming attack in deliberately vague but suggestive terms, knowing that local spies and collaborators would overhear and report the false information back to the Germans. They were actors on a battlefield stage, and their performance could mean the difference between life and death for thousands of Allied troops. From the D-Day landings in Normandy all the way to the final crossing of the Rhine River, the Ghost Army conducted over 20 battlefield deceptions. They were masters of misdirection. On one occasion, they held a thin 6-mile line for days, pretending to be 2 full divisions, allowing General Patton's Third Army to swing north and crush the German forces. Their actions are estimated to have saved between 15,000 and 30,000 American lives. They faced incredible danger. While their weapons were fake, the enemy's bullets and shells were very real. They were often positioned in exposed forward positions to make their presence believable, drawing artillery fire and risking capture. 3 Ghost Army soldiers were killed in action, and dozens more were wounded. They were fighting a war of wits, but the risks were just as deadly. And here's the most astonishing part of their story. After the war, their entire operation was classified as top secret. The men of the Ghost Army were sworn to silence. For over 50 years they couldn't tell anyone, not their friends, not their wives, not even their children, about their heroic and ingenious service. They had played a pivotal role in winning the war, saving thousands of lives, and yet they received no public recognition. Their story was locked away in government archives, a footnote so secret it was practically erased from history. Many of the artists in the unit, like fashion designer Bill Blass and painter Ellsworth Kelly, went on to have famous careers, their secret wartime past completely unknown to the public. They carried the weight of their classified mission in silence for decades. It wasn't until the 1990s that the records were finally declassified. Slowly, the incredible story of the Ghost Army began to emerge, thanks to the persistent efforts of the surviving veterans and historians. In 2022, these unsung heroes finally received the recognition they deserved when they were awarded the Congressional Gold Medal, one of the highest civilian honors in the United States. The story of the Ghost Army is more than just a fascinating piece of military history. It's a testament to the power of creativity, imagination, and unconventional thinking. It proves that courage isn't just about charging into battle with a rifle. It can also be about using your mind to outwit an enemy, using art to save lives, and performing a role so convincingly that you change the course of history. These men were heroes who fought a war with inflatable tanks and speakers, winning battles without firing a shot, and their legacy is a powerful reminder that sometimes the most effective weapon of all is a brilliant idea. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this story as incredible as I did, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more hidden histories just like this one. We'll see you in the next video.